Well, hi, good morning. Thank you so much for joining me here in my shop. Today is June 15th. It's the Ides of June. And boy, it's a cold day outside. 13 degrees. I think it's 16 now. And the high is 20 today, which is not high. And beautiful blue sky, hot sun, fantastic. What am I doing in my windowless shop here? Good question what I'm doing here. So, talking about good questions. While I was eating my breakfast this morning, I was watching another video of a guy named Donald Hoffman, Professor Donald Hoffman, being interviewed about his ideas that he's exploring around the deepest truths of existence, of the universe and stuff like that. There's a lot of physics involved and things of this sort. But he's a very unusual guy. He's nice to listen to. If you want your head to explode, if you want to watch something and at the end of it your eyes are crossed and you can't uncross them, watch Professor Donald Hoffman explain conscious agents and things like that. Yeah. Now, I'm going to leave that weird world I just came from and look at this thing here. So, when I played the radio yesterday, I noticed a number of heterodyne whines as I tuned through stations. Just in the background, just faint little tones going up and down. And it suggested to me, I think I may have even said something, that the decoupling capacitors in the radio here are not doing their job. Well, that wouldn't be too surprising, because most of the capacitors are original in here, I think. Some have been replaced, some have not. The more I look at it, the more I think none have been replaced. That's what I'm thinking here. So there's going to be a couple of key capacitors in here that are responsible for decoupling the circuitry in the radio. Decoupling means if you don't decouple a circuit, that means a signal over here can get coupled to something over here. And maybe you don't want that to happen. So you put a decoupling capacitor in, and then this guy can't affect the left hand. The right hand cannot affect the left hand anymore. So, so when those get weak, as they get weaker, of course, strong signals in the radio can start affecting sensitive areas, and you start getting odd effects. You get motorboating, just put sound or something like that, or you get squeals and heterodynes, all kinds of weird stuff. So I'm pretty sure that's what's going on in this radio. So which one of these capacitors would, if it's one capacitor, which one would it be that would cause this problem? And that answer is going to lie in the schematic. So let's take a look at the schematic here. Oh my gosh. Okay. There's a lot of capacitors in this radio. We're looking, oh, they don't have the sizes on them. Oh my gosh, I was going to say the trick I can use is just look for some big ones in here. Some of these we know are not really decoupling capacitors. This one looks like an AVC capacitor here. This one's associated with the AVC system also. And of course, the AVC circuit is an ideal location for feedback to occur. It's ideal. Go right to a grid back here. Around we go. So these are important, that's for sure. In fact, maybe this one is a decoupling one, and this one is the AVC speed capacitor. So this would be a good one. But for crying out loud, how am I going to spot this in the radio? They haven't got the size. And there's no diagram showing me the location of parts in this radio. Wow. And you see this is located between these two resistors, which are located who knows where. Okay, so but that's a very likely one. Okay, here's another one that's catching my attention. Just about any capacitor that's going to ground, going to the chassis here, is a suspect. So what's this line? This is probably the B+. Yeah, this is the B+ line. It can also convey signals unintentionally around the radio, because in the later stages there's a very strong signal in the plate circuit. a small part of a strong signal. It's still strong enough to affect the radio back here. So so I would think this one is probably a fair size one. And what's this one doing? Is there a dot there? Probably isn't. Yeah, I think there's probably a dot there, because look, he's using hops to get over the top of the wire. So this is a connection point. And this one, excuse me, this is also a very important one, because I think it's on the, no, I'll take it back. Excuse me. Let's pick a screen circuit and trace it out. So that would be this line here. This guy's bound to have a big capacitor, probably that one right there. This is great. I'm finding them on the schematic, but how am I going to find these in the radio? Change them all. I heard somebody say that. Who said that just now? Change them all. I don't have much choice beyond that, really. If I'm going to nail these down, I just go by large size. This is probably a big capacitor. This one might be also. Don't know about the rest of them. This is, I don't know. Oh my gosh. This is not going to be an easy deal at all. What does OP stand for? Output? OP. Yeah. Okay. Let's look back at the radio here. Yeah. Okay, we're looking at it. Well, there's a big one tucked in behind here. There's an electrolytic one I pointed out before. There's a few here that are easy to do. I guess that's the other side of the coin. Do the important ones, the big ones, and do the easy ones because they're easy. This one here, this very much looks like a replacement, and it's big. It looks like an expensive capacitor too. So it could be the last guy was thinking the same thing as me, and he went ahead and did one. Maybe. We don't know. Okay, I'm gonna take a little break here, drink some coffee, maybe listen to Mr. Hoffman a little more and split my brain further. Okay, my coffee cup has told me the best thing to do is to get rid of the wax capacitors as the first step. There's 5 or 6 of them in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is probably in there somewhere too, and I just haven't seen it yet. Most of these are easy, except for this guy up here, because he's hidden behind this other big green one. I think I could just move it out of the way. I'm going to do this one first, and then wow, this looks like a replacement because it looks like it's soldered to the wire. Really? A wax capacitor replacement? And then how often should I test this radio to find out if what I've done has fixed it? Probably with each individual capacitor, frankly, because I think if I do 2 or 3 of these, I'm going to get myself into a jackpot I don't want to get into. Nobody should want to get into a jackpot. A jackpot is a situation that you did not expect, which you have now created for yourself, which is undesirable. That's sort of the general term for it. Okay, well, let's go after that one anyway, that first one. I'm going to cut it out here. That's to mark the terminal I've just cut it from, because I know what happens to me. I lose track. I need a little more light in there. Yeah, this one has been replaced. See, it's wire to wire here. So what did I just cut out? So the assumption is these are the proper size capacitors, and that somebody didn't put in the wrong size capacitor, and that's really what the problem is. That's a 0.05. Okay. Oh, don't leave this off. So what happens is I get distracted. Do you do this? You go into a room to do something, and you say, oh, I gotta do that. And you start doing that, and you do this, that, and the other thing. But you never do the original thing you went in the room for. That kind of thing happens to me when I come back in here. I can't remember what I was doing or anything. So that's what the clip lead is for, in case I get called away. Now, so I could put in a 0.05 out of the way here, I'm sure. This is in my 0.05 tray. .46 nanofarads, 0.05, same thing. Very good. Okay, and we'll install this. Good. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Whoops, you're still looking down there. I'm going to go ahead and install it and decide after that what to do next. Okay, I have installed the replacement capacitor. Let's give this one a test. And we'll see what we got here. Okay, now you're trying to see the pi at the bottom of this. It's a little hard to see. I'm trying to shadow it, but anyway. Okay, there it is. 50 volts. What do? Close right up, and no sign of it trying to open. So this is among the worst capacitors. It's not shorted or anything like that, but well, I shouldn't say not anything like that. It is kind of shorted. It's shorted as if there was a resistor in there. Okay, now should I test the radio? Having just done one. It might be a good idea to play the radio and get used to the way it sounds. I'm going to guess the capacitor I just didn't improve anything significantly, so we're going to hear the same effect I mentioned before. So I think I'm going to have to go and turn on the antenna here. No, I've got it turned on. I did it ahead of time. Smart guy. Okay. Let's let her rip here. There we go. So the dim bulbs are going over there. So thank you very much for the email trying to help me out with this kind of interference you hear, this ticking. I don't know what to say. Here in the morning, never in the evening. Listen to it rip. I don't know what it is. That's going to give us some trouble here. So I want this to be on the broadcast band. Which one was that? I can't remember, for crying out loud. I do have the antenna connected. Oh, did the speed just change of that? What the heck is it? Okay. Someday I'll just go on a full tilt hunt for that thing. Okay, it's revving up. I don't think this is the broadcast band. There's the broadcast band.
I was told I
Boy, that's terrible. I'm going to put a different antenna in here. Let's see if we can't pick something up but not get that so much noise with it. That's just driving me nuts. Let me go get my alternative antenna. Yeah, so I'm running through my house looking for this. It's right here in my shop. So this is a commercial loop antenna. Let me just pull back a little bit here. I purchased a number of these over the years and sold them off with radio repairs, just pass them through. They've all worked really well. I probably had 5 or 6 of them go through here, except one of them didn't work at all. And I took that one apart, and that didn't help it any. But this one works. So loop antenna has 2 feeds. So we're going to hook them both up over here. There's no polarity concern. Let's see what we get with this. I don't know what to expect. So this is a tuned antenna. It's got whoa! What the heck was that? That had me jumping. You have it turned up fairly high. Okay, here we go. That's a little better, right? So what I'm able to do with this is steer it away from the interfering noise. So I'm using the null of this antenna to knock that noise away, or to make the noise imperceptible to the radio. But if I turn it this way, as you noticed, now I might get the station stronger at the same time, but that is what's happening. The station, excuse me just a minute, technical difficulties have occurred. Quickly, man, what are you doing now? So that's classic motorboating. Why is it motorboating? Oh, you radio, just before I had a chance. Oh, doesn't take long to find something. That is really sensitive. This is the one I soldered on. I wonder if somebody took it off on purpose. And if you connect it, that's what you get. If you disconnect it, it works. Do you think that's possible? Because I say, this is the one I soldered back on. Whew. I think I know which one I'm going after next. But then again, if I put a brand new one in there, I want to motorboat just like crazy. Maybe I've soldered it to the wrong spot. Is that what happened? What happened here? Boy, a lot of sensitivities in here. There's your answer. That's the guy that we got to go after. He's the guy. He's one of them anyway. He's one of the gang that's trying to stop exactly what you just heard from happening. So we're going to replace this guy. And I have to get him out of there. A little hard to forget this spot, but just in case. So I'm going to cut this and leave some wire behind. What do you say we give this guy a test right away? I can't read anything on this. Mica mold. 0.1. So that's actually a large capacitor, even though physically it's not. It's actually quite small. 200 volts, 0.1. I would have thought this big thing in the back here is a 0.1. Wow, that might be much bigger. Okay, 0.1. I will put a new one in there and we will play the radio. Oh, did I mention testing this? Maybe I did. I'm willing to take a guess, I bet you are too, that this is going to be as bad as the last one. This last capacitor tested bad enough that I can't tell how bad it is. It's at the limit of badness here. Okay, here we go, 50, watching the eye. Oh my gosh, you see that jump open? You see there's no closing of the eye at all? So what this suggests is there's a break in the capacitor itself. That these, even though I've got it clipped together here, these lead wires are disconnected. One of them anyway, disconnected inside the capacitor. Something like that has happened. Let's try again. Here we go. No, it's just nothing. So this should be closing and then opening, especially on a 0.1. So this is really bad. This is a bad actor. This guy actually has a defect. He's not just tired and leaky and worn out. It has a bona fide defect in it. That's why when I was touching it, it was probably bringing in and out the short circuit that was occurring. Open circuit. I think it's an open circuit that was occurring in there. Okay, so I've got the new one in. We're going to give it a try. Okay, let's give this radio another shot. Volume down. Power on. All the tick. Oh, because I haven't got the antenna aimed. Okay, so if it wasn't for the ticking, I would probably have this aimed this way. How's it sound?
You know, if there is no accommodation for people who suffer from time blindness, then yes, this is a system to be dismantled. I blame so many people for that. I feel sorry for this woman. She was the product of a dysfunctional set of circumstances that probably started with...
That's with 80 volts on this radio.
Nothing to prepare her for a world that doesn't care about her. And by the way, that's not my expression. I listed that correctly.
Let's give it the full deal here. Something gonna pop? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. It did sound like something was breaking down. So you still hear some sparky sounds. Not that constant engine sound, but the occasional tick. The higher voltage, whatever it was not hanging on very well. Almost certainly it's a capacitor connected to a high voltage, but it could be anything. It could be a resistor doing that. Oh, it's quiet there.
Talk about the best new movies and TV shows. So the preview of some of their picks, here's Brett.
Sounds pretty good. I think maybe we found the bad actor already.
New in theaters this weekend, Disney Pixar's Inside Out 2. The first Inside Out came out in 2015. Remember that one?
Joy, this is sadness. That's anger.
I really like your point about Toronto diverse. I think there's almost a party no matter who wins, which is actually kind of cool. Like there's an area of town. There's always a spot. Yeah. It really doesn't matter who wins Euro or who wins the World Cup. There's always going to be an area that's kind of fun if you want to go party, go hang out. And
Here's my
also,
stick.
your point about like being good for the kids. Like I remember some of my best memories are when the Leafs were making runs when I was a teenager, or 15 years old or whatever, and we'd all paint our faces, me, my brother, buddy, my dad, and we drive down to Don Valley with our faces painted, our blue afro hair, flags on the car, and you're just kind of like, you see people that are going to the game, they're wearing the jerseys in the car, and you're just kind of honking at each other. Like, the camaraderie is really fun, and it's a really good memory for
Nothing loose.
Yeah, it's supposed to be to like take us like a bit of a distraction away from what
Well,
else went on here.
What will we do next?
So no, I think it's a great thing. I'm just picturing you with your face painted. You should do that next Saturday.
I did it for the
Sounds great.
I did it for the Leafs playoff rounds. I did it for the Canada World Cup.
I think I should stick to my first. So we've taken out 2 wax capacitors. They've both shown themselves to be terrible. One of them absolutely defective. So I really should go after the remaining wax capacitors, even though this thing is operating at this point. That amounts to this guy, this one up here, and this thing. Why don't we try this horrifying thing back here next? Look at this thing. It's horrifying. Isn't that horrifying? I can make it more horrifying. The horror. The horror. Look at that. Yikes. And see, this Cornell one is almost certainly been added in. So we just lift this guy up. Wow, a lot of things are really moving a lot here. We lift him up and out of there. There he is. There's the guy. Where's his lead going? Oh, up behind the capacitor, of course. To the same terminal I think I was fiddling with earlier, but I can cut the wire and keep the wire. Save the wire. And then this one pretty clearly just going to that terminal there. What a ugly looking capacitor that thing is. Holy smokes. But you know, that doesn't really guarantee anything. I wish I could get this camera to focus and hold still long enough. Doesn't guarantee it's bad, but my money is on it being really bad. That's what I'm betting. Well, let's just cut it out of there and see what the story is with it. It looks even worse coming out. Now I want to cut this but leave the wire just a little bit on the capacitor to test it. Eee. So what has happened to this thing? It looks like it's been run over by a truck. So this is either from overheating, this capacitor itself has overheated itself, or adjacent overheating from tubes and stuff like that. There's really nothing in there that would just really not. Well, the whole radio gets warm, of course. What a schmoggle. Let's give this guy the test. Yeah. Is there any chance for you? What are the chances? I can do this. Okay, new experimental camera angle here. Just bear with me while I teach myself something. Hey, look at that. Now there you go. Okay, as long as I don't trip over my tripod here. So often there's wax on these, so you've probably seen me do this, kind of grind the clip lead into the metal of the capacitor. 50 volts, even though maybe you can see it says 25. Don't believe it. It's 50. Here we go. And there's no way that eye is going to come open. Yeah, piece of junk. Another dead soldier in the small group of dead guys there. And I've got a new camera angle. I'm stumbling all over the place with my camera. Okay. Good. So I'm going to replace. I'll put in. Oh! What is this? What is this? size-wise. Holy smokes. This is a job for the Swedish fish knife. Now my actual background is Finnish. My personal background is Canadian. I mean, I was born here and all that. But my father was 6 years old when he came to Canada. 200 volts. Probably right up here is where it says. There it is. Here it is here. 0.1. It's a 0.1 again. Yeah, he was 6 years old when he came to Canada. So, but they lived in a part of Finland, archipelago area of Finland that was once part of Sweden. So the people living there, they are by nationality Finnish, but by culture they're Swedish. They're probably a mixture at this point, Swedish Finns, a little like French Canadians, not unlike that. Okay, I'll gotta find a replacement and stick it in there. 0.1. Okay, time to test the radio again, but just to show you, I do have a Finnish fish knife. I believe that's what this is. Maybe I'm wrong in that. I don't know what that is for. Anyway, in my mind, it's a Finnish fish knife. And look at this. Look at this knife. Whoa! Look at this thing here. Got stuff in, what do you call it? Engraved into it, engraved along in here too. Isn't that something? You know what this is? This is a commemorative knife from the Olympics in 1940, the 1940 Olympics. You know what? There was no 1940 Olympics. How do you like that? But I've got a knife that commemorates it. Okay, let's test this radio now. Let's give it a test. There we go.
He makes up for it in a different way. One play that stands out too, which is funny, my roommate, Rowan Samadon, actually, that shot it.
Oh, the interference is gone.
First night, out to talk about it. He sent me a video the other night. I was watching the game out at a bar. He was watching it in his apartment. So he was, filming filming.
About the strongest that way.
In that last
Tune it. The antenna.
And the board, Barkov ended that.
Oh, we can go back to the outdoor antenna.
He actually threw it.
Let's do that. Let's a good comparison here. How does the outdoor antenna compare to this guy? Let's find out. Without touching the volume control. And guessing which of these wires is which.
Originally when I was watching it, my roommate Rowan did, and I thought that was a really good point.
That's got to be the ground.
It's crazy. The brains of that guy, the brains of that coach. In one of our shows, he's amazing. And his point was.
Sounds fantastic,
I learned
eh?
so much from that interview. He was talking about the Panthers to go in
Tinny?
on like an odd man rush. In. Like they don't even try. There's times they purposely don't even try to score.
It sounds great.
The game is about just keeping the puck in that offensive zone and grinding people down that way. And it looks sort of unconventional. But I think that play you just laid out with Barcroft is sort of a microcosm of what that team is like. And my goodness, it just feels like they had a lot of success with Joe Quenneville. Andrew Burnett did a great job there. But my goodness,
Oh my gosh.
Paul Maurice really seems to be the perfect fit
Okay.
for this team.
Let's
Yeah, it's funny.
Let's tune through. So this is 590.
In the year when the Panthers were in New York in like March.
Wow, it's hard to see there.
I
What's
spoke
going on?
to Nick Cousins about just what their mindset was going into the year, and Nick Cousins told me that this training camp
the year after Stanley Cup Final Run was actually harder than last year's training camp, which sometimes I feel like you'd expect it to be a little bit lighter after.
So we're listening to 590, but this is showing it as 57. A little up. So that's a Buffalo station there. That's pretty good. Probably 610 from St. Catharines. That's 150 miles away or more.
Whether you are a current or former employee.
680, the transmitter's in Grimsby, Ontario. Far side of Lake Ontario. From here, that's a long ways. Sorry, I'm not holding the flashlight. The camera very steady here. Oh, for crying out loud. 740. Too much noise. What's all that? If I get away from the noise, it's picking up pretty good. Up here. Nope. Let's just give a shortwave a little bit of a shot here. This one, it's 2 to shortwave, I believe. So the shortwave band is here, this bottom one, and we're currently tuned to around 10 megahertz. If we go down, we should be able to get something.
You see, in Protestantism, you're taught that if you confess these things, these kinds of things, you're saved.
Yeah, saved. Safe. You know what I think? I think if you just pronounce the word Protestant a little bit differently. I went to a Protestant church. I went to the original Protestant church, a Lutheran church. If you pronounce that word just a little bit differently, Protestant becomes Protestant. Protestant, that's what it really is. What are you protesting? The Catholic Church. Protestant Church. Do you think that's true? Tricky to tune this, but it's you should get something up around 13 here. Going quiet. It's gone quiet. Probably alignment.
And that's what you
That is a strong station there.
This is dead and useless. So we might ask in James 2:24, does James have...
Dead and useless. Okay, enough of that. That's good. I think that gives me a good idea of where we're at with this radio. We're in really good shape. This is really working quite well already. So I'm going to stop today though, because I'd rather be outside or enjoying the beautiful day. We still have a couple more wax capacitors. One here, which is carrying the audio, I believe, and one down here that's probably another silencer. Another decoupler. I don't know for sure. So we'll get rid of those two, and that might be the end of it for this radio. It's working quite well, and fantastic. Got to leave room for the next guy to make improvements. You know, you can't make these things perfect. Well, thanks a lot for watching, and tomorrow we'll probably finish this guy off. Fantastic, really. I really had my doubts about this radio when I saw it, but wow, fantastic. You know, like I'm not even testing the tubes. I'm not, you know, wow, fantastic. Say that again. Fantastic. See ya.